Alright, I go by the name of Millz, El Negro Mezclador. Originally from Bushwick, but rep PA now, repping both sides. Like the records, like the world, like that Mundo in the building. What's going on? So to get where I'm at now, I would say it just all stems to like when it first started. I started DJing when I was like 18, 19. I think it was like 3-4 weeks before my 19th birthday. I had money that I had set aside that was supposed to be for me to go to school. Made a decision like, yeah, I'm not going to school. So I took that bread, got my first set of turntables, my first mixer. I started spinning then, and it was just like me spinning in the room. After I was like 19 is when I got my first gig, went out to Philly, spun a party out there, and I started off like house parties, barbecues, baby showers, like that was my bread and butter. I was so young, I couldn't get in the club, never been in the club before, so that's all I knew. Then around 2019, 2020 is when I started to be like around in the city more. That's when I started like being around Like That Records, and that's when I really got into like the club scene. And it's just been like grinding since then. That's what it is. It's just, I've been blessed to have good people around me, so it's like the people around me push me to keep on going, and that's how I've got to where I'm at. It's like it's a team effort. All right, so I gotta say probably one of the most craziest or like the funniest things I've ever seen in the gig is one of the house party me and the homies threw. It was like a 2-floor situation. We had the balcony, like the balcony in the crib, and then the floor down here. And we had someone hop like on the banister and jump down into the crowd. That was funny. And the funny thing about that is if you go back and watch the video, in the windows, in the crib, you can see the cop lights. And literally the second after bro did that, I played the next song, cops came in and shut the whole party down. But I'd say that was probably the craziest thing or the funniest thing I've seen at a gig. Scratch personally means a lot to me. It's a place where I really got to come into myself as a DJ, and I got to meet the people who made me who I am now. If I never went through Scratch, the Millz that exist today wouldn't be a thing, and El Negro Mezclador 100% would not be a thing if I didn't come through Scratch. Before I came to Scratch, I had the basics of DJing kind of figured out. I didn't really know how to mix yet, but I understood like the theory of music, so I knew how to like beat slam. I could just do that. I was dropping all my tracks in time, but I didn't really figure out the mixing part yet, and that's where I got that polished. I met a bunch of good friends there. The thing I really loved about Scratch is when I was there, every week or every time I came in for a test, I knew I had to show out because the people around me would show out. It was just an environment that bred talent. I loved it. Also there, that's where I met Marv. That's a critical part of my career now. Bro has introduced me to a lot of the people that I interact with now, so it's like, if I didn't go to Scratch, I never would have met my big bro, so it's like, Scratch meant a lot to me. I got into Kumbia being around the homies. Always got to give credit to the people who taught me Kumbia. It would have to be first Kumbia track I've ever had on my computer was Turbo Sonidero's remix of Touch by Ace Manuel. That was the first Kumbia track I ever had on my computer. The track that made me realize I liked Kumbia was Turbo Sonidero's remix of Give Smoke by Lil Mouse. And that track I found through a Hello Tones mix. So Turbo, Hello Tones, 2 pillars in my Kumbia education. On top of that, it would have to be the homies all around. So Sonidera Blues, DJ Chihuahua, Next Tape, all those dudes. Anybody that you see me around spinning Kumbia, they're the ones who taught me Kumbia. They're the ones who gave me my name. They're the ones who made me want to spin Kumbia. Originally, I used to fight it. I used to think it just didn't make sense for me spinning Kumbia as an African dude. I was like, I'm gonna just leave it to them. But they really like brought me in, embraced me. It's like, no, you have an ear for this. You have a love for this. It's time for you to start spinning it. The dancing part has always been important, but I didn't realize that until recently. I'd say what kind of set me on the path to a lot of the genres that I spin and listen to now would have to be my big cousins, and I didn't realize that until recently. Two cousins in particular. I got a cousin named Pedro and a cousin named Jaquan. Growing up, they were like light feet dancers, so I grew up like hearing like D. Cole and like Kid the Wiz or Larry Smooth remixes, stuff like that. They were the ones who put me on the Be More Club, Jersey Club. I didn't realize it till a couple years ago. Like I was a kid hearing Tim Dollar tracks like Swing That. I've been hearing that track since I was a kid. Didn't realize it was them who put me on. It was them who had an iPod in middle school. They were the ones who put me on to like, oh, I could catch Philly radio where I was. So like coming up hearing like DJ Diamond Cuts, she was an influence on me. Then when it came to high school, a couple of homies, when we really started to get in Jersey Club, we would like bump it and dance to it in the cafeteria. Shout out my boy Haas, Sound by Haas. My man since the 5th grade, but he was integral in that. Like we still got videos of like us in the cafeteria bumping like Telly Tells or Josh the Producer, stuff like that. And then when it came into the Kumbia, when I started being around that more, I gotta give big salute to Cool Marks, going to his class every, whether it be every Saturday morning, I'd be there and I'd learn how to dance Kumbia. So I didn't realize it until recently, but the dancing has always been hand in hand with the music. It didn't click till now. Turntablism was the coolest thing ever to me coming up as a DJ. I remember I would go home and just sit down and watch DMC footage like it was film. That's what it was. I would sit down and it's like, oh, this person's doing that person's doing that. It was the illest thing ever to me. I just respect the craft and how serious people could take it and how technical people could get with it. Over the years, I've moved away from turntablism just a little bit. The more I've started to spin club music, but recently it's starting to mean more to me again. I started to take spinning vinyl again more seriously. Recently, it's just, it was a part of my skill set that I felt I was neglecting, and once I've gotten back to it, it's like, yo, I miss this so much. I remember that's, like when we came up through scratch, that was originally the way you were taught. It was, hey, go grab 2 records on the shelf, throw them down and mix them before we were even on Serato, something like that. So it's nice to be able to go back and like tap in with that side of myself again. And it's just a different feel, like spinning on turntables. I remember when I first came up, couldn't stand controllers, I couldn't stand CDJs, and it took me a while to get where I'm at now, where it's like, it's convenient to plug in a CDJ, but hey, coming up, it was just, hey, I'm hauling turntables, I'm hauling a record bag, I'm hauling a mixer. It's just, that's my background, that's my heritage. The biggest piece of motivation I would give is don't take your foot off the gas. Even in my life, in my career, I've seen that I've done that before, and that's one thing I wish I could go back and tell my younger self, like, yo, you have to keep on going. Even if you have to take little breaks here and there, you're not out spinning as much as you want to, always make sure you're sharpening your knife, even if you're in the crib, just with the homies, open decks, whatever you can, make sure you're out there. The other thing is, you gotta make sure you have a good group of people with you. That's the only way I'm able to do what I'm able to do today is I'm surrounded by the greatest folks ever. Let's say DJing stopped existing today. I know those are my friends. It's easy to be around folks when things are good, when the money's up, when everyone's winning, but you need a good group of people to hold you down when things are down, people to go to the end of the earth with you because you guys could go to the moon together.